Good morning all. So in this class we will see one important theorem. Not only important, it is very important because this is a sure question. If you say this is a sure question, okay, and it depend on this theorem only we have to solve the example. And if you see, this theorem is very lengthy and it is not possible to write that theorem on the whiteboard and explaining. That's why I am explaining this theorem in notebook only, okay, and we will solve the example again using the board only. So before to go that theorem, first we have to know what is analytic function and what are the CR equation. So the definition of analytic function is a single valued function which is defined and is differentiable at each point of the domain D. Okay, means if you are taking any function f of z, when we say this function is analytic, if this function f of z is differentiable at each point in the domain D, okay, not only at single point, this should be differentiable at each point inside the domain D, then only we can call this function is nothing but analytic function. Okay, only remember the analytic function is differentiable. If, or remember in this way, if the function is differentiable, that function is called analytic function. Please remember this statement. Okay, if the function is differentiable, then we can say that function is analytic. If f of z is differentiable means if their derivative exists, means f dash of z exists. If f dash of z exists, then that function f of z is called analytic function. Okay, please remember that. See, next is Cauchy-Riemann equation or CR equation. Very important equations. These are very important equations because the examples are based on only this equation. So Cauchy-Riemann equation or CR equation. In short, we can call it as CR equations. Okay. Now, see, please remember, we know in the complex number, if z is the complex number, always the value of z can be written as x plus iy. Always the value of z, if you see, the value of z can be written as x plus iy. And the value of f of z, if you want with respect to the function, the value of f of z is written as u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. Please remember these two things. Z is equal to x plus iy and f of z is u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. Okay. So suppose if f of z is equal to u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y be the given function. Okay, be the given, this is complex number and this is the function defined by f from define the function f from a to b, that is nothing but w is equal to f of z. Okay, so f of z is equal to what? U of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. Now suppose if this is the given function, then the equations dou u by dou x. Okay, first we have to find the value of dou u by dou x, dou v by dou y, or dou u by dou x, dou u by dou y, dou v by dou x, dou v by dou y. Means we have to differentiate this function f of z with respect to x and y. Okay, with respect to x and y. And you know, dou means it is the partial derivative. If you are differentiating any function with respect to one variable, we have to keep the second variable is constant. We have to keep the second variable is constant. Okay, means if you are having, see here we are having two variables, that is x and y. Suppose if you are differentiating with respect to x first, then we have to keep y is constant, and if you are differentiating with respect to y, we have to keep x is constant. Okay, now let us take u of x comma y. Find dou u by dou x keeping y is constant. Find dou u by dou y. Similarly, find dou v by dou x also and dou v by dou y also. Now suppose if this equation is satisfied, that is dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y and dou u by dou y is equal to minus dou v by dou x. If both the value, if these two values are equal and if these two values are equal, then we can say these are the CR equations, or that function satisfy the CR equation. Very important. Or you can call ux ux is equal to Vy and uy is equal to v minus vx. Okay, here dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y, but here negative sign is there. If you see here, we are having dou u by dou y is equal to minus dou v by dou x. If these equations are satisfied, then we can these equations are called CR equations. Okay, so using this equation and using the definition of analytic function, we have to prove one important theorem, that is the necessary and sufficient condition for the function f of z to be analytic. Okay, two theorems are there, necessary condition and sufficient condition, converse, but in many times they ask the necessary condition. Okay, in every question paper, if you see every question paper, they ask only the necessary condition. In one or two question paper only they ask the sufficient condition, but if you see the question paper, in every question paper necessary condition they ask. Okay, so this is very important, or short question for 5 marks. Okay, so what is the necessary condition state? See, we have the definition of analytic function, we are having the equations, that is CR equations. So in the necessary condition, we have to prove if f of z is analytic. Okay, if f of z is analytic, then we have to prove it satisfies the CR equation. Okay, if see, two statements are there. First, f of z is analytic. Second, f of z satisfies the CR equation. In the necessary condition, we have to prove if f of z is analytic, then it satisfies the CR equation. And in the sufficient condition, we will go in the converse, means if it's f of z satisfies the CR equation, means if these equations are true, then we have to prove f of z is analytic. Okay, so let us first see the necessary condition. If f of z is equal to u of, what is the statement? If f of z is equal to u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y be analytic in a domain D, then there exist 4 partial derivative. Obviously, if you see the definition of analytic, if f of z is analytic, it should be differentiable, means derivative exists. Okay, and if there exist 4 partial derivative, that is ux, uy, vx and vy, then we have to prove it satisfies the CR equation. But what are the CR equation? Ux is equal to vy, that is dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y, and dou u by dou y is equal to minus dou v by dou x. Okay, so use the given statement, let f of z be analytic function, it is given. Okay, and by the definition of analytic function, if f of z is analytic, f dash of z exists, because it should be differentiable. Okay, if f of z is analytic, f dash of z exists. Then by definition in the last class I have explained the some definitions, that is when we say the function is differentiable, etc. So if f dash of z exists, then using that differentiable we can write f dash of z value is nothing but limit as delta z tends to 0. Please see that or compare with respect to that equation, whatever I have given in the last class, compare that. F dash of z value is nothing but limit of delta z tends to 0, limit as delta z tends to 0, f of z plus delta z minus f of z divided by delta z. Okay, this is the value of f dash of z. I think I have given that notes. See, in the derivative of function, the value of f dash of z naught I have given. Instead of z naught, here we have taken z, and instead of h tends to 0, here we are having delta z tends to 0. Okay, so this is using the definition. Now see, in this statement we have to substitute the value of z, the value of delta z, or the value of f of z plus delta z, and the value of f of z and the value of delta z. Okay, we know the value of z. Z is nothing but complex number, and it is given by x plus iy. Using this value z is equal to x plus iy, we will write the value of delta z. What is delta z? You will get, means differentiate. Delta z is nothing but what you will get, delta x plus I into delta y. You will get delta x plus I into delta y. We are having delta z value, delta z value. Now here we have f of z value. What is f of z? Just in starting only I have explained, f of z value is nothing but u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. That is the value of f of z. But we want the value of f of z plus delta z also. So using this f of z value, we will write the value of f of z plus delta z. So the value of f of z plus delta z is given by u of x plus delta x. Okay, see, instead of z what you are having? Z plus delta z. So instead of x we have to write x plus delta x. Instead of y we have to write y plus delta y. Okay, so we are having x plus delta x, y plus delta y. Similarly, plus I into v of x plus delta x. Yes, I into v of x plus delta x. Same. Here v of x comma y is there. We have to write instead of x, x plus delta x, instead of y, y plus delta y. Okay. So we are having all the values. Now we can substitute that values, that is yes, z value, delta z value, f of z value and f of z plus delta z value in this equation. F dash of z is equal to limit in that equation. Substitute that value. What we will get? F dash of z is equal to limit as delta z tends to 0. What we are having? F of z plus delta z. But what is the value of f of z plus delta z? We are having this value. Substitute that value. So here we will get this statement. U of x plus delta x, comma v y plus delta y, plus I into v of x plus delta x, comma y plus delta y. Next, here what we are having? Minus f of z. Is it? So f of z value is what? U of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. Substitute that. So minus u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y divided by delta z. And what is the value of delta z we are having? Delta x plus I into delta y. Substitute that equation. Call this as equation number 2. Okay, value of that equation. So next we are having two cases. Okay, first case is if delta z tends to 0 along x-axis. Meaning of this is nothing but delta z is purely real. If you are taking delta z tends to 0 along x-axis, means delta z value is purely real. If the value of delta z is purely real, means delta y value is 0, because delta y is nothing but imaginary part. Okay, because see what we are having, delta z is equal to delta x plus I into delta y, and it yes, it present in imaginary part. I into delta y is nothing but imaginary, and this is real. Okay, and here what we are taking, if delta z tends to 0 along x-axis, means delta z is purely real. That implies the value of delta y is 0. Okay, we are having this equation, delta z is equal to delta x plus I into delta y. Okay, and we are taking delta z tends to 0, and already if it is along x-axis, means delta y's value is also 0. Okay, so what we will get the delta x value? If you are substituting delta z is also 0 and delta y is also 0, you are getting delta x tends to 0. Okay, so substitute that value. So f dash of z is equal to, in equation 2, limit as delta x tends to 0, u of x plus delta x. See, here we are having in equation 2 y plus delta y, but the value of delta y is 0, because here delta z is purely real, means you are getting delta y value is 0. So if you compare this equation, here you will get delta y plus delta y, but here delta y value is 0, so only we remains with u of x plus delta x comma y. Similarly in other term also. So you will get this equation now, u of x plus delta x comma y plus I into v of x plus delta x comma y minus this term remains as it is. Okay, next here we are having delta x only. Okay, because we are having delta x plus I into delta y, but delta y is 0, so we remains with only delta x. Okay, so this is equal to limit as delta x tends to 0. Combine this u term in one bracket and imaginary part, or you can say combine the real part in one bracket and imaginary part in one bracket. So here we are having u of x plus delta x comma y. Here we are having minus n, so you will get both the term are negative. So here you will get it is minus u of x comma y. Next, if you see the imaginary part, here we are having I into v. So we can take I is common from the both the term. So if you are taking I is common, here we remains with v of x plus delta x comma y. Here we are having again minus sign, means this term is also minus. So minus v of x comma y whole divided by delta x. Okay, now separate the limit. Okay, two terms. Here we are having two terms, real part and imaginary part. So separate the limit. So what you will get? Limit as delta x tends to 0. This first part, u of x plus delta x comma y minus u of x comma y divided by delta x plus I into limit as delta x tends to 0. Again this term. Okay. So if you see, this is the definition of dou u by dou x. Using the definition or derivative of the function, we can write this is the value of dou u by dou x, and plus this is the value of dou v by dou x. Dou v by dou x. Okay, that is ux and vx. Call this as equation number 3. In the second case, in the case 2, we can take delta z tends to 0 along y-axis. We can take delta z tends to 0 along y-axis. If you are taking delta z tends to 0 along y-axis, that is nothing but delta z is purely imaginary. So here what you will get, delta x value you will get, it is 0. And you will get delta y tends to 0 because already delta z tends to 0. So substitute in the equation 3. Only the difference is here you will get delta x value 0. So here we remains with u of x comma y plus delta y plus I into v of x comma y plus delta y. Okay, this term remains as it is. Here delta x is 0. But here we remains with I into delta y. Okay, not only delta y, I into delta y. So that is nothing but f dash of z. Again separate the limit for both the function. Okay, so limit as delta y tends to 0, u of x comma y plus delta y. Again combine the real part in one bracket and imaginary part in one bracket and separate with respect to two terms. So delta y. See, here we are having I. So here we have taken 1 upon I is outside. Similarly here also 1 upon I is outside. But already we are having plus imaginary part, that is I into. So you will get I upon I. So limit of delta y tends to 0. We remains with this term. Okay. Next. This again, if you see the definition of derivative, this is nothing but dou u by dou y. So 1 upon I, dou u by dou y, and here I get cancelled. If you see this term, here I and I get cancelled. So we remains with only 1, and this is the definition of dou v by dou y. So what we remains with? 1 upon I into dou u by dou y plus dou v by dou y. Okay. But we want it is, see here we have exactly f dash of z dou u by dou x means one real part and one imaginary part. Is it? One real part and one imaginary part. Similarly here also we want in that form. But here we are having it is 1 upon I. We want only I in the numerator. That's why I have written this 1 is nothing but minus I square. Because if you see the value of I square is minus 1. If you substitute I square value is minus 1, you will get minus into minus plus 1. So that's why here we have written minus I square divided by this I as it is. Okay, and remaining terms as it is. So this is equal to, if you cancel the term, we remains with 1 I here. Is it? So minus I dou u by dou y plus dou v by dou y. So what we will get? Write down in the proper form. First real part, next imaginary part. So f dash of z is equal to dou v by dou y plus I into minus, okay, because we want it is one function plus I into that is the imaginary part. So here we have written plus I into this term minus dou u by dou y. Call this as equation number 4. Now compare equation 3 and equation 4. In the equation 3 also we are having f dash of z is equal to this. And if you see the equation 4, we are having again f dash of z. So if your LHS side are equal, we can equate the RHS side. So if you equate the RHS side, what you will get? If you if you equate the RHS side, what you will get? Dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y. Okay, or dou u by dou x plus I into dou v by dou x. This is the equation 3, RHS of equation 3. This is equal to dou v by dou y plus I into minus dou u by dou x. This is the RHS of equation 4. Now we are having two equations. Okay, and equating these two equations. Now here equate the real part and equate the imaginary part. Okay, so here what is the real part? Dou u by dou x, and here real part is dou v by dou y. So what you will get? Dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y, and here imaginary part is dou v by dou x, and here imaginary part is minus dou u by dou y. So what we will get? Dou v by dou x minus dou u by dou y. That is nothing but ux is equal to vy and vx is equal to minus uy. And these are the CR equation. If you see the definition, these are the CR equation. Okay. So this is the proof of the necessary condition. If f of z is analytic, then we have to prove it should satisfy the CR equation. Okay. Next, the converse part of this is nothing but sufficient condition. That is, if it satisfies the CR equation, or if CR equations are true, then we have to prove f of z is analytic. Okay. So we can see that in the next class. See, if you are getting any problem with this video, because adjustment is not possible here, so if you are getting any doubts or any confusion with respect to this video, you can ask me. Okay, you can message me or you can call me. I will explain this. Okay. Or if offline classes, if suppose offline classes will start, that time I will explain one more time this theorem, because this is very important theorem. So I will give the explanation in offline classes. Okay. So we can see the sufficient condition in the next class.